Scene 2. Front scene. A wood with perhaps distant view of turreted house at one side, but all in flat colour, without light and shade and against a diapered or gold background. Countess Cathleen comes in leaning upon Allele's arm. Una follows them. Cathleen, stopping. Surely this leafy corner, where one smells the wild bee's honey, has a story too. Una. There is the house at last. Allele. A man, they say, loved Maeve, the queen of all the invisible host, and died of his love 9 centuries ago. And now, when the moon's riding at the full, she leaves her dancers lonely and lies there upon that level place, and for 3 days stretches and sighs and wets her long pale cheeks. Cathleen. So she loves truly. Allele. No, but wets her cheeks, lady, because she has forgotten his name. She'd sleep that trouble away. Oh, it must be a heavy trouble to forget his name. Una. Your house, lady. Allele. She sleeps high upon wintry Knocknera, in an old cairn of stones, while her poor woman must lie and jog in the wave as they would sleep, being waterborne. Yet if she cry their names, they run up on land and dance in the moon till they are giddy and would love as men do, and be as patient and as pitiful. There is nothing that would stop in their heads. His such poor memories, though they weep for it. Oh yes, they weep. That's when the moon is full. Cathleen. Is it because they have short memories they live so long? What's memory but the ash that chokes our fires that have begun to sink? And they've a dizzy, everlasting fire. Una. There is your own house, lady. Cathleen. Why, that's true. And we'd have passed it without noticing. Allele. A curse upon it for a meddlesome house. Had it but stayed away, I would have known what Queen Maeve thinks of it when the moon is pinched, and whether now, as in the old days, the dancers set their brief love on men. Una. Rest on my arm. These are no thoughts for any Christian year. Allele. I am younger. She would be too heavy for you. He begins taking his lute out of the bag. Cathleen, who has turned towards Una, turns back to him. This hollow box remembers every foot that danced upon the level grass of the world, and will tell secrets if I whisper to it. Lift up the white knee, hear what they sing, those young dancers that in a ring raved, but now of the hearts that broke, long, long ago for their sake. Una. New friends are sweet, but the dance changes. Lift up the gown. All that sorrow is trodden down. The empty rattlepate. Lean on his arm, that I can tell you is a christened arm, and not like some if we were to judge by speech. But as you please, it is time I was forgot. Maybe it is not on this arm you slumbered when you were as helpless as a worm. Allele. Stay with me till we come to your own house. Cathleen, sitting down. When I am rested, I will need no help. Allele. I thought to have kept it from remembering the evil of the times for a full 10 minutes. But now when 7 are out, you come between? Talk on. What does it matter what you say, for you have not been christened, old woman. Old woman, you robbed her of 3 minutes' peace of mind. And though you live into 100 years and wash the feet of beggars and give alms and climb Croagh-Patrick, you shall not be pardoned. How does a man who has never baptized know what heaven pardons? You're a sinful woman. I care no more than if a pig had granted. Enter Kathleen's steward. Steward. I am not to blame, for I locked the gate. The forester's to blame. The men climbed in on the east corner where the elm tree is. Cathleen. I do not understand ye. Who has climbed? Steward. Then God be thanked I am the first to tell you. I was afraid some other of the servants, though I've been on the watch, had been the first and mixed up truth and lies, your ladyship. Cathleen, rising. Has some misfortune happened? Steward. Yes, indeed. The forester that let the branches lie against the walls to blame for everything, for that is how the rogues got into the garden. Cathleen. I thought to have escaped misfortune here. Has anyone been killed? Steward. Oh no, not killed. They have stolen half a cartload of green cabbage. Cathleen. Maybe they were starving. That is certain. To rob and starve, that was the choice they had. A learned theologian has laid down that starving men may take what's necessary, and yet be sinless. Una. Sinless and a thief. There should be broken bottles on the wall. Cathleen. And if it be a sin, while face unbroken God cannot help but pardon. There is no soul but its unlike all others in the world. No one but lifts a strangeness to God's love till that's grown infinite. And therefore none whose loss were less than irredeemable, although it were the wickedest in the world. Enter Teague and Seamus. Steward. What are you running for? Pull off your cap. Do you not see who's there? Seamus. I cannot wait. I am running to the world with the best news that has been brought it for 1,000 years. Steward. Then get your breath and speak. Seamus. If you'd my news, you'd run as fast and be as out of breath. Teague. Such news. We shall be carried on men's shoulders. There is something every man has carried with him, and thought no more about than if it were a mouthful of the wind. And now it's grown a marketable thing. Teague. And yet it seems as useless as the paring of one's nails. What sets me laughing when I think of it is that a rogue who's lain in lousy straw, if he but sell it, may set up in his coach. There are 2 gentlemen who buy men's souls. Oh God, and maybe there's no soul at all. Steward. They're drunk or mad. Teague. Look at the price they give. Showing money. Seamus. Tossing up money. Go cry it all about the world, they said. Money for souls, good money for a soul. Cathleen. Give twice and thrice and 20 times that money, and get your souls again. I will pay all. Seamus. Not we. Not we for souls. If there are souls, but keep the flesh out of its merriment. I shall be drunk and merry. Teague. Come, let's away. He goes. Cathleen. There's a world to come. Seamus. And if there is, I'd rather trust myself into the hands that can pay money down than into the hands that have but shaken famine from the bag. He goes outright, lilting. There's money for a soul, sweet yellow money. There's money for men's souls, good money, money. Cathleen to Allele. Go call them here again. Bring them by force. Beseech them, bribe, do anything you like. Allele goes. And you too follow. Add your prayers to his. Una, who has been praying, goes out. Steward, you know the secrets of my house. How much have I? Steward, 100 kegs of gold. How much have I in castles? As much more. How much have I in pasture? As much more. How much have I in forests? As much more. Keeping this house alone, sell all I have. Go barter where you please, but come again with herds of cattle and with ships of meal. Steward. God's blessing light upon your ladyship. You will have saved the land. Cathleen. Make no delay. He goes left. Allele and Una return. Cathleen. They have not come. Speak quickly. Allele. One drew his knife and said that he would kill a man or woman that stopped his way. And when I would have stopped him, he made this stroke at me. But it is nothing. Cathleen. You shall be tended. From this day forever I'll have no joy or sorrow of my own. Una. Their eyes shone like the eyes of birds of prey. Come, follow me, for the earth burns my feet till I have changed my house to such a refuge that the old and ailing and all weak of heart may escape from beak and claw. All shall come till the walls burst and the roof fall on us. From this day out, I have nothing of my own. She goes. Una, taking Allele by the arm, and as she speaks, bandaging his wound. She has found something now to put her hand to. And you and I are of no more account than flies upon a window pane in the winter. They go out. Scene 3. Hall in the house of Countess Cathleen. At the left, an oratory with steps leading up to it. At the right, a tapestried wall, more or less repeating the form of the oratory, and a great chair with its back against the wall. In the center are 2 or more arches through which one can see dimly the trees of the garden. Cathleen is kneeling in front of the altar in the oratory. There is a hanging lighted lamp over the altar. Allele enters. Allele. I have come to bid you leave this castle and fly out of these woods. Cathleen rises from the altar and comes into the hall. Cathleen. What evil is there here that is not everywhere from this to the sea? Allele. They who have sent me walk invisible. So it is true what I have heard men say, that you have seen and heard what others cannot. I was asleep in my bed, and while I slept my dream became a fire, and in the fire one walked and he had birds about his head. I have heard that one of the old gods walked so. It may be that he is angelical, and lady, he bids me call you out from these woods, and you must bring your old foster mother and some few serving men and live in the hills, among the sounds of music and the light of waters till the evil days are done. For here some terrible death is waiting for you, some unimaginable evil, some great darkness that fable has not dreamt of, nor sun nor moon scattered. No, not angelical. This house you are to leave with some old, trusty man, and bid him shelter all that starve or wander while there is food and house room. Cathleen. He bids me go where none but mortal creatures but the swan dabbles. And there he would pluck the harp, when the trees had made a heavy shadow about our door, and talk among the rustling of the reeds, when night hunted the foolish sun away with stillness and pale tapers. No, I cannot. Although I weep, I do not weep because that life would be most happy. And here I find no way, no end. Nor do I weep because I had longed to look upon your face. That a night of prayer has made me weary. Allele, prostrating himself before her. Let him that made mankind, the angels and devils in dearth and plenty, mend what he has made. For when we labour in vain and eye still sees, heart breaks in vain. How would that quiet end? How but in healing? You have seen my tears, and I can see your hand shake on the floor. Allele, faltering. I thought but of healing. He was angelical. Cathleen, turning away from him. No, not angelical, but of the old gods, who wander about the world to waken the heart, the passionate, proud heart that all the angels, leaving 9 heavens empty, would rock to sleep. She goes to the oratory door. Allele holds his clasped hands towards her for a moment hesitatingly, and then lets them fall beside him. Do not hold out to me beseeching hands. This heart shall never waken on earth. I have sworn by her whose heart the 7 sorrows have pierced, to pray before this altar until my heart has grown to heaven like a tree. And there rustled its leaves till heaven has saved my people. Allele, who has risen. When one so great has spoken of love to one so little as I, though to deny him love, what can he but hold out beseeching hands? Then let them fall beside him, knowing how greatly they have overdared. He goes towards the door of the hall. The Countess Cathleen takes a few steps towards him. If the old tales are true, queens have wed shepherds and kings beggar maids. God's procreant waters flowing about your mind have made you more than kings or queens. And not you, but I am the empty pitcher. Allele, being silent. I have said all. Yet let me stay beside you. No, not while my heart is shaken. No. We shall hear winds cry, and waters cry, and curlew cry, and have the peace I longed for. Give me your hand to kiss. I kiss your forehead, and yet I send you from me. Do not speak. There have been women that bid men to rob crowns from the country under wave, or apples upon a dragon-guarded hill, and all that they might sift the hearts and wills of men, and trembled as they bid it, as I trembled that lay a hard task on you that you go, and silently, "Do not turn your head. Do not turn your head and look. Above all else, I would not have you look." Alil goes. "Never spoke to him of his wounded hand." She looks outside. "I cannot see him. All is dark outside. Would my imagination and my heart were as little shaken as this holy flame." She goes slowly into the oratory. The distant sound of an alarm bell. The two merchants entered hurriedly. Second merchant. "They are ringing the alarm, and in a moment they will be upon us." First merchant, going at door to the side. "Here is the treasury. You and my commands to put them all to sleep." Second merchant. "Some angel or else her prayers protected them." Gives into the treasury and returns with bags of treasure. First merchant has been listening to the oratory door. First merchant. "She has fallen asleep." Second merchant goes out through one of the arches at the back and stands listening. The bags are at his feet. Second merchant. "We have all the treasure now, so let's away before they've tracked us out." First merchant. "I have a plan. To win her. You have time enough if you would kill her and bear off her soul before they are upon us with their prayers. They search the western tower." First merchant. "We cannot face the heavenly host in arms. Her soul must come to us of its own will. But being of the ninth and mightiest hell where all are kings, I have a plan to win it." "Lady, we've news that's crying out for speech." Cathleen wakes and comes to door of oratory. Cathleen. "Who calls?" First merchant. "Lady, we have brought news." "What are you?" "We are merchants, and we know the book of the world, because we have walked upon its leaves and there have read of late matters that much concern you. And noticing the castle door stand open, came in to find an ear." Cathleen. "Door stands open. Let no one who is famished or afraid despair of help or any welcome with it. But you have news, you say?" First merchant. "We saw a man heavy with sickness in the bog of Allen, whom you had bid buy cattle. Near Fairhead we saw your grain ships lying all becalmed in the dark night, and not less still than they burned all their mirrored lanthorns in the sea. Thanks be to God, there's money in the house that can buy grain from those who have stored it up. Prosper on the hunger of the poor. But you've been far and know the signs of things. When will this famine end?" Day copies day, and there's no sign of change. Nor can it change with the wheat withered and the cattle dead. Cathleen. "And heard you of the demons who buy souls?" "There are some men who would hold they have wolves' heads, and say their limbs, dried by the infinite flame, have all the speed of storms. Others again say they are gross and little, while a few will have it they seem much as mortals are, but tall and brown and travelled. Like us, lady. Yet all agree a power is in their looks, that makes men bow and flings a casting net about their souls. And that all men would go and barter those poor vapours were it not you bribe them with the safety of your gold." Cathleen. "Praise God, I am wealthy." "Why do they sell?" First merchant. "As we came at the great door, we saw your porter sleeping in his niche. A soul too little to be worth 100 pence. And yet they buy it for 100 crowns. But for a soul like yours, I heard them say, they will give 500,000 crowns and more." Cathleen. How can a heap of crowns pay for a soul? Is a green grave so terrible a thing? First merchant. Some sell because the money gleams, and some because they are in terror of the grave, and some because their neighbours sold before, and some because there is a kind of joy in casting hope away, in losing joy, in ceasing all resistance, in at last opening one's arms to the eternal flames, in casting all sails out upon the wind to this, full of the gaiety of the lost, would all folk hurry if your gold were gone. There is something, merchant, in your voice that makes me fear. When you were telling how a man may lose his soul and lose his God, your eyes were lightened up. And when you told how my poor money serves the people both, merchants, forgive me, seemed to smile. First merchant. I laugh to think that all these people should be swung as on a lady's shoestring. Under them the glowing leagues of never-ending flame. There's something in you that I fear. Something not of us. Are you not born in some most distant corner of the world? The second merchant, who has been listening at the door, comes forward. A sound of voices and feet is heard. Second merchant. Away now. They are in the passage. Hurry. For they will know us and freeze our hearts with the Ave Marys and burn all our skin with holy water. First merchant. Farewell. For we must ride many a mile before the morning come. Our horses beat the ground impatiently. They go out. A number of peasants enter by the other door. First peasant. Forgive us, lady. Oh, we heard a noise. Second peasant. We sat by the fireside telling vanities. We heard a noise, but though we have searched the house, we have found nobody. Cathleen. You are too timid. For now you are safe from all the evil times. There is no evil that can find you here. Una, entering hurriedly. Oh, hon. The treasure room is broken in. The door stands open and the gold is gone. Peasants raise a lamentable cry. Cathleen. Be silent. The cry ceases. Have you seen nobody? Oh, hon. That my good mistress should lose all this money. Cathleen. Let those among you who are not too old to ride get horses and search all the country round. I'll give a farm to him who finds the thieves. A man with keys at his girdle has come in while she speaks. There is a general murmur of, The porter, the porter. Porter. Demons were here. I sat beside the door in my stone niche and 2 owls passed me by, whispering with human voices. Old peasant. God forsakes us. Cathleen. Old man, he never closed the door unless one opened. I am desolate because of a strange thought that's in my heart. But I still have my faith. Therefore be silent. For surely he does not forsake the world, but stands before it modelling in the clay and moulding there his image. Age by age the clay wars with his fingers and pleads hard for its old, heavy, dull, and shapeless ease. But sometimes, though his hand is on it still, it moves awry and demon hordes are born. Peasants cross themselves. Yet leave me now, for I am desolate. I hear a whisper from beyond the thunder. She comes from the oratory door. Yet stay an instant. When we meet again, I may have grown forgetful. Una, take these two, the larder and the dairy keys. To the porter. But you, take this. It opens a small room of herbs for medicine, every kind of herb. The book of cures is on the upper shelf. Porter. Why do you do this, lady? Do you see a coffin in a dream? Cathleen. Ah, no. Not that. But I have come to a strange thought. I have heard a sound of wailing in unnumberable hovels. And I must go down. Down I know not where, pray for all men and women mad with famine. Pray, you good neighbours. The peasants all kneel. Countess Cathleen ascends the steps to the door of the oratory, and turning round stands there motionless for a little, and then cries in a loud voice, Mary Queen of Angels, and all you clouds on clouds saints, farewell.